For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to set up a bird experiment. So all you need is 3 bird feeders and either bird seed or nectar to get started. So I'm doing hummingbirds, so I'm starting with my first feeder with just sugar and water. My second feeder is just going to have water in it. And then my third feeder is going to have nectar and water, nectar concentrate. So what I do first is to make the nectar from sugar. I mix 2 tablespoons of sugar and I mix 1 cup of water, heat it up, let it cool, and add to feeder 1. And then feeder 2 gets just water. Feeder 3 gets the 2 tablespoons of nectar and 1 cup of water. Now, once you're all set, you place all feeders outside in similar environments. When I record data, I made a data table in my notebook, and I recorded the first day with the date, time, weather, and what I did to each feeder. Next few days, I'm going to spend 10 minutes each day recording the number of birds, the behavior, and type of birds at each feeder. And I'll do that every day for a week. At the end of the week, I'm going to record the water level in each feeder and to see if one feeder was visited more than the others. I'll keep doing that for 3 weeks total until I get enough data to analyze. Now for your experiment, you can choose to work with seeds instead of nectar. Same thing, 1 type of feeder and maybe 3 different types of seeds for the food. That can be your experiment. Another option is you can have 1 type of food and then 3 different types of feeders. So maybe one like this, maybe one that's a little bit different, and they can be homemade or they can be store-bought. The idea is that you make the experiment based on something you're interested in and you only change one thing at a time. So either changing the type of food, changing the type of feeder, or maybe even changing the environment where you put the feeders. So this is really similar to the plant experiment we did on gizmos where you only changed one thing at a time and kept everything else the same. One of the links I put in the experiment proposal doc is this Project Feeder Watch, which is an awesome research when you're just learning about birds or even if you know a lot about birds and want to learn more. So if you want to know what birds you're seeing at your feeder, it's really cool. You can look through all of these. You can sort by food type, you can sort by feeder type and region in the winter or different times of year. We're kind of in the spring, so things might be a little bit different, but it's very accurate as a whole. The other thing is there's lots of other resources on here, so you can like download a little poster, for example. These are common feeder birds. You could have that as a reference when you're doing your data collection each day. And then also just a little plug that you can participate in citizen science. Here, it's still going on through the end of April, so if you're curious, you can go back to that same website. All you have to do is install a feeder, which we're already doing. You're counting the birds that visit, and then you enter the data for their scientists. So if that's something you're really interested in, that could be a cool extension. You already have the feeder, and you can contribute to science in that way. Now it's time for you to design your own experiment. Off you go!